Welcome to your wildest craving.
Hello, Go Mode podcast fans, and also officiants of the Challenge Cup, and also friends, family, and enemies of racers Zethno and Skunkner. My name is Qirn. I am joined in the booth by Hub. How's it going, Hub?
Everything's going fine. Thank you for having me with you, and we're looking to see a pretty fun race for a game one in the K group elimination bracket, right?
Yeah, so this is the start of the best of three, which will determine who gets to play more randomizer and have lots of fun, and who has to continue to play in the tournament.
Yeah, with it only being game one, I'm pretty sure our runners will try to get a feel out for today's seed. And based on what happens here, they'll probably try their luck on the next race, either with the knowledge they have in tow or, tighten up a bit of the execution and whatnot. But we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah, I always think tournaments are a really great opportunity to kind of test your skill, see how far you get, see how you compare up to somebody else in a hyper-competitive environment. But it's also so very stressful. It's so very stressful, and it's sometimes nice to after a tournament to go back to play casually for a bit, and recoup for the next one. Which is why I kid when I say that somebody will have to continue on to this tournament, much to their detriment.
Yeah, I would like to think that this is just like any run as you normally would do. At least that's how I like to try to view it as. Just with a lot more stress involved.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're a lot more chill than me, Hub, but yeah, it can be very stressful.
So, with that in mind, while our runners are preparing to start the run itself, what is the routine, the plan, the objective for today's race?
You mean like what do we think that their routing is going to be?
Well, the routing, but more importantly, like the settings today.
Oh, right. Okay. So luckily they have them in the middle here, because otherwise I'd be like, what are the settings? But it looks like it's standard items defeat Ganon 7/7. So this is a normal standard mode, maybe otherwise known as, well, no, casual is different. I think that's where you get the sword start. But because this is randomized stored, so we will get a random starting weapon. And we are off.
And with that in mind, that random starting weapon, oh geez, excuse me. That random starting weapon could be anything ranging from between like a sword to bow and arrow and perhaps like bombs. Is that correct?
Yeah, bombs could be in there, Cane of Burna, Cane of Samaria. There's lots of interesting weapons that you could be required to start off with.
Well, we get to find out here as we get the hammer. That's actually an excellent starting weapon, because not only that the hammer is part of the progression, it allows you to do tempered sword damage, which means that this will be a breeze if you can get used to the wonky hitboxes on it.
And picking up that small magic from the pots there. I think this is really important. Ooh, nice. Finds a full magic drop on that first knife guard. So unfortunately, that does mean that is not a pool in which they're going to be able to farm for bombs.
Yeah, that's rather unfortunate. They may have to rely on the rats or the snakes or the bats that's in the sewers for their bomb drops. Or, 3 triple bombs can be like no stranger in these beginning parts of the sea. I feel like that's going to happen.
If you're familiar with your prize pack, sometimes it can be a relief to see in the first drop that there are no bombs in the pack. So you don't have to farm, but you can't actually get bombs, any drops, off of the bats. They never drop anything. They're in a special prize pack that never drops.
Oh,
and
okay.
Yeah, so that's interesting. And then the snakes are actually in the same prize pack as the guard. So it's only the rats that you can farm deeper.
All right. That is something to take note of later on when I'm racing.
Yeah. A little bit of expert prize pack knowledge there. It's really interesting now that we've standardized the prize pack so that you can predict that. It used to be that it was all shuffled and you just had no idea. You just had to keep farming and hope you got some bombs.
Skunkner is a bit of ahead, like 2 or 3 rooms ahead of Zethno so far. So I like to think that the little bit of execution wise is going. If I was to put first impressions on, Skunkner would be in favor of.
Yeah, I know that Zethno had some technical issues getting started, and it looks like that they had some issues starting their timer as well, and they did get it going. So they probably had to type in a time value and do all of that while they're racing. So I bet you that part of this execution difference right now could just be because of all this crazy stuff that happened as they're getting started here. Oh, but nice kill there from Skunkner on the ball and chain guard.
Yeah, but thinking about it now, being able to key all that in while having just a tiny bit of an issue lagging behind there still means that did some pretty good effort in getting that circumvented.
Ooh, and nice going for that hammer hit there. It's going to be much faster, but it is risky. Like you can see that his iframes are wearing off right as the ball was coming back around. So if you misjudge that hammer hitbox, that could have been devastating. So yeah, nice confidence to go for it.
Getting to the second part of the escape sequence where we start going towards to the sewers. That'll mean our runners will go through Dark Cross. There's a check there. Most likely it's gonna. Well, we already have the key. Did we pick up by any chance the map so far? Because I feel like that could be in Dark Cross.
Oh man, I'm so bad at keeping track of that even when I'm racing.
The good thing about the standard opening is that our runners don't have to worry about having the lamp for the dark part of the sewers, because Zelda is kind enough to just shine her tiara to give us light to traverse through the area.
It's interesting because in the vanilla game, if you can make it inside this room, you actually don't get the lamp cone. Without a lamp. I mean, if you got here without a lamp, but she won't let you come into this section of the dungeon without a lamp. You'll actually be prevented.
Yeah, by the time you start leaving out of the dungeon area, she will remind you that there's a lamp somewhere, and that's where the chest is at.
And Skunkner maybe now realizing this is the magic pack, so not going to farm any deeper.
I did see 5 rupees pop up. I didn't think those drop as well in the magic pack.
Yeah, whenever you get a specialized pack like hearts or arrows or whatever, there's always, well, almost always, there's rupees in the same pool. The one exception, I think, is the bomb pack, actually, which always has just bombs. Oh, Skunkner finding a heart there. That could be either the heart pack or it could be the big miscellaneous pack, but that would be a lot of digging to find those 8 bombs.
There's our arrows.
Okay, now I'm confused. Is that...
We did see hearts, we did see like small magic pots, and we did see arrows. So.
Oh, I think I missed a rat kill.
There's our bomb.
Nice.
So yeah, Skunkner securing a bomb from a random drop, thankfully enough. It took some time, but he was able to get one. So hopefully Zethno's hoping to follow suit, hoping to get one himself as well, as we get 220 rupees and a map. Fantastic for all that effort. But hey, you know what? Those are 3 checks out the way. You know, I had to go back to it.
Yeah, it can be really painful when the gloves are locking themselves back here. And so, like, if you don't get a bomb when you would have had the opportunity, it's very painful to come back. It looks like Zethno is considering, passing it up for now.
Yeah, with only 1 heart, he feels like it's not worth the risk of going through the trouble of getting a bomb to go to there. So that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, making some use of that cape to keep his health high. I think he could take 2 hits on these rats before he died. I think they do it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, it takes a tiny chunk, those little mices. But if you're in the dark world though and get hit by a rat, you just lose a lot of health.
I'm so confused about what prize pack that was that gave them 1 bomb though. Maybe I missaw one of the prize pack items, but I misread it. It was the small miscellaneous for the rats. Okay, I just misread which prize pack we were in. Never mind. You can ignore me.
Skunkner going through the bottom of the overworld to look into these bushes to see if they can get a 50-50 bomb to spawn in, but it doesn't look like that's the case. We do get a stun prize though, and that's just a small pot.
Yeah, it can be pretty useful. But yeah, having some problem with the boomerang there. It looks like that they were accidentally doing a diagonal boomerang, which can be very easy to do accidentally. Okay, these 50s weren't working out for them too good, but they did find a bomb in the end. And the Tier 2 tree pull from Zethno is 1 bomb, so that's pretty nice.
And we get 3 more bombs along the way. Hey, it's only when you don't really expect them to appear, they just started to come out in droves. Go figure. We do get early checks on the library, and I'm going to assume the maze race as well, as we get a sword on top of the library. May not be a priority just yet, but if we come across boots very early, we can see our run is going to get that as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's nice to have early if that's available. And at least you're guaranteed to not have to run around with boots without a sword in front of you, which is also nice. And Skunkner, remember, he's got to turn in that bottle to the sick kid while he's here. Can be easy to forget. Looks like a bee, but it doesn't tell you whether or not it's a golden bee. You have to like quick swap to it, but that could be a nice play, is to sell that gold bee to the merchant for 100 rupees. You have to quick swap to find out what kind of bee it is, though. Ah, and he saw it. Okay, so he saw it's a normal bee. So I think that's exactly what he was doing. So nice play there from Skunkner. That nice game knowledge.
We did get a flipper pull, and I do believe that was from I think that was from actually just recently from the blind man's hut, or either that, or I'm too blind to see, and it was in the well. But no, wait, no, it was in blind's hut.
Oh,
and we get some gloves to go along with those flippers. We're getting fully kitted out here at this point.
oh, Skunkner. Did Skunkner walk past? I didn't notice that. Walk past the bottle merchant. So hopefully he'll go back down.
He didn't have enough money to go to the bottle merchant, so he had to come into the well first. And
yeah, it can just be easy if you don't have enough money, like walk right past it, and then it's not in your muscle memory to go back down once you do get the money in the well.
Yeah, I had those moments where I accidentally forgotten that at some point. Thankfully, those moments they didn't yield any super important items during the run.
All right, we're kind of doing the reverse clear from each other. Zethno almost done here. Skunkner still has to go up and do the Lost Woods. So Zethno will probably be done in CAC slightly earlier than Skunkner, just because of how much of a pain it was to get those bombs from the bushes. He's got some bad 50s there.
Yeah, some really unfortunate 50s to not really give him at least one bomb to circumvent the issue of being short of bombs. Based on the stuff that they got now, where do you think they will be planning to go to next? Because I think South Short is a good idea to do right now still, regardless of having the gauntlets.
Yeah, I would agree. They're not like close enough to Zora's money that I could see them putting it off to try to find that money. But another common early play might be Sahasra. Oh, maybe Zethno. Oh, Zethno's going back for the back of escape. So this will give Skunkner a little bit of an opportunity to catch back up here after those 50s. So Skunkner will actually pull ahead.
It's also a good idea to make sure you use an item of progression immediately after you acquired it, or at least keep in mind of using it.
Yeah, so very close to the start here still, despite some differences on each side, missing checks or having bad 50s or having to farm and not getting the bombs, blah, blah, blah. Despite all that, we're very close to each other right now still. Zethno having to think about where he goes next. Starting at Sank, this could be a Houlihan, maybe wanting to get a little bit of extra money in case they find a couple hundreds or something like that in any Moldworm Cave.
Yeah, I would understand this play as well. Like, I'm pretty sure, like, should they ever come across the necessary money along South Shore, they would go ahead and fake flipper into Zora Lake just to see what Zora has in store for us.
Yeah, one thing that I think is interesting here, an interesting option is if Zethno was planning on doing this anyway, what you can decide to do is he could have done the Houlihan first and then save and quit and did the back of escape next. Now it's slightly slower because you're committing to an additional save and quit. So what he did is actually faster here. But I just thought I'd mention that as an interesting option people don't consider, because sometimes you don't get the correct pixel for the bomb and you end up falling in the back of escape anyway. So it's just like a little bit of insurance against that. So I'm not saying Zethno did anything wrong here. In fact, that, like I said, this was the optimal play he did. I just thought I'd point out that interesting option that they also had there.
Yeah. Getting a blue pot and the man, our runners are finding a lot of pop bottles today. It's kind of rare for me to see such a thing recently in most of the races that I've commentated at the very least. But most of those were trash fire seeds, so that's to be expected.
Oh, a stuck little mini Moldworm. He's going to have to throw it on the right side. Okay, it unstuck himself. But that was really good thinking from Skunkner. He backed up, threw the bomb from a little further to the right so that the area of effect would still hit him.
We do get some very important items. Quake Medallion, that allows us to be one step closer to opening up the doors, since we have yet to check Misery Mire or Turtle Rock. And we do have the bow, so that means Eastern Palace is clearable at this point.
And Skunkner also finding that 300. So, he could use those gloves to farm rupees. It's going to take quite a few trips. Oh no, Zethno dies. To try to go to Zora, but Zethno, having done Houlihan, is going to get that 300 and just be good to go. So if Skunkner doesn't get extra rupees here on the way to Zora, meaning Ice Shroud Cave, he might be forced to farm a little bit while Zethno's not. But that death in Mini Moldworm is going to set Zethno back a little bit more.
Yeah, so like that hammer hitbox is very tricky to use. As I stated earlier, hopefully, well, it seemed like Zethno is pulling out the bomb, so he's just going to go ahead and use the bomb route. A little bit of lost time, but it shouldn't be that much of a loss.
Yeah, it's not the worst place to die by any means. So this would be 3 trips to farm for rupees here if Skunkner wants to do that. And looks like they will do that. Don't blame them at all. Zethno also has to back up a little bit. Bomb fell in a pit. I like this strategy here, coming from the right side, throwing towards the middle. It's kind of interesting. And it's going to try to do a hammer because he wants to preserve bombs. He's got a B. Oh, nice!
One of the rare instances of a bee being very, very useful right now.
Heck yeah, super smart there from Zethno to decide to do that, and does preserve that bomb in the end, which could be useful. Oh, looks like, did Skunkner save and quit from, where did he save and quit from? Hobo?
I believe it's from Hobo, yeah.
Or was it from the, after farming rupees, now he's going to jump in this end of the pool?
Actually, wait. Yeah, okay, no, he farmed rupees and then saved and quit from the looks of it.
Oh, that was interesting. We saw Zethno, he had it item to the bottle already in case he needed to use it, but was waiting to read the enemy patterns to see if it was really necessary, and then ended up using it. That's kind of cool to see.
So we are going to get our hobo check. I'll be right back real quick.
No worries. And that crab giving Zethno a little bit of a problem, does get through it. Skunkner picking up those extra 20, could have saved himself one of those farms, but that's not a risk you really want to take, that you're going to find 20 rupees in the next 3 chests before Zora, so makes sense to have farmed it first. Zethno now catching up a little bit. Getting Ice Shroud Cave, getting that progress now, moving on. And first map check, we have 3 crystals in the Light World and a red crystal on Eastern, so that's good news, especially sitting still on 4 hearts. Maybe it means that some of those pendants will be in those more difficult Dark World dungeons, and if we don't get hearts, that could be a pretty significant fact, not having to do those. Oh, Flute and Moon Pearl in the stacked Waterfall Fairy Cave. Skunkner going to show us the bottle turn-in. Looks like Zethno might be skipping the Hobo, going just straight to the Waterfall Fairy, which I think was nothing. I wasn't looking at the time, but according to the tracker, I don't think it was anything. So if he can skip that altogether, then they're neck and neck again. And just arrows on the ledge, looks like. And now we're going to get some real talk from Zora. Okay, now this is an interesting variation here, a point of departure. Zethno could choose to go straight to Pod because he's got the money, whereas Skunkner cannot after the save and quit here because they will not have the money. I don't know that they would want to. They're without Lamp. They're still on 4 hearts, but that is a difference between them right now, is still that Zethno did that Houlihan is still affecting what their options are currently. Oh, Skunkner having a thought there. Maybe we're going to change their mind, go up the mountain first, or maybe go to Village of Outcasts first, but then decided to commit to doing Hype Cave first. I'm a fan of that. I think it's nice to get this high-density area check done right away. And you get a nice Dark World map check, too, so you can decide whether or not you really want to go to Pendant Thieves Town area, Village of Outcasts. And speaking of Pendant Thieves Town, we got a green pendant in Thieves Town, pendant, Turtle Rock and Ice, and also red crystal on Swamp. So that's nice because those are some of those hard Dark World dungeons that can be difficult to do on low percent.
Just jumping in to give you a little bit of a partner while Hub is AFK. How is everything going?
Pretty great. It's interesting variation here from Zethno heading into Social. I was going to say pretty similar route so far, but yeah, this could be interesting. If there's like a mirror here or another glove, this could make some huge difference.
We got bombs, and rupees. Whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, but meanwhile, Zethno walking out. Is this going to be the Eastern Palace play? Meanwhile, Skunkner, Mail, Lamp, and book could mean much more easily to go into pod now, but again, lacking the money.
Yeah, not a bad setup there. I'll give that Hype Cave a 7 out of 10 for the items in there.
Yeah, not bad at all. And looks like that they are going on to the Pyramid Ledge area at least. Maybe they'll continue on to Catfish, or maybe they'll, be thinking, oh man, if only I had money to go do pod right now.
Thank you for waiting. I have returned, and I see within a blink of an eye, our friends are in the Dark World right now.
Yeah, what the heck? Yeah, they found lots of stuff in Zoro's domain, and Zethno is doing Eastern Palace. Makes a lot of sense. Does not have the lamp, so we're going to see them navigate some dark rooms here, but it is a crystal, so let's do it. Totally. Oh my god, mirror on Pyramid Ledge.
Man, I look away for one moment. Do I just need to leave real quick to handle important matters so people can get their progression much faster, become a jet seed? Because that's what it seems like.
Yeah, it looks like skunkner now going up to Catfish. Now, an interesting thought here is, he was in a perfect position to do the pod and the Eastern play, both being crystals. Now that he picked up that mirror, the problem is he didn't have money, but it was an option to him. He could have mirrored in front of pod, did Eastern first, grabbed the rupees in the back of Eastern, and then come back to the mirror portal and picked up Kiki and then done pod still. So, but maybe this is his play. I used to do this play too, go to Pyramid straight into Catfish the first time I got Darkhold access. And I think that there are lots of advantages to doing that. And maybe he just wants to do this now. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, getting Catfish out the way will be a great idea. Don't want to orphan it late game, because that means if you do that, chances are your opponent has already done so much earlier, and that could have been the much progression you need to finish the seed.
Yeah, exactly. And you put them in a situation where if they don't check it, then you can get some huge advantage over them. I mean, it's a slow check is the downside, but it just depends on how thorough you think you're going to have to be throughout the seed. Also, another way that you can route in Catfish better is if you have Mirror and you haven't yet done Zoro's domain, but we have, so.
Yeah, from the looks of things, going to Zoro domain first was the proper logical decision.
Yep, and that's where the Moon Pearl was, so had to go through there. Zethno using the boomerang to kind of see himself in the dark. We still don't have a sword.
Yeah, boomerangs, bow, bombs, those are useful like visual cues, so to say, as I would like to call it, to see where you're at in dark rooms, just in case you don't know where you're at. And that could help out a lot.
Yeah, and it looks like got kind of caught in the bottom corner of the room. I bet you that he was stuck on that pot there on the right side of the room. Now I got the keys exiting the room. A nice boomerang there, and dodges the anti-fairy. So he has 2.5 hearts. If he's super confident with this D-boost, he could get it, but it is risky.
I mean, or he could just switch to his cape.
Oh, yeah, right. That's smart.
Though I think he kind of heard you with that.
Going for the D-boost anyway, and are we going to do cape now? Well, maybe forgetting.
I don't think he remembers he has cape.
Yeah, I would be in his boat, because I forgot he had cape too.
Oh, me. To be honest, cape is one of those not really realized items that you get early in game that you just go, oh, I can just... It's funny because he was just using it during the escape sequence, and now he completely forgot it.
Well, you know what I think it is? It's like it's not in your muscle memory when you go in that room, because you rarely have the cape in that instance. Versus like cape could be really useful in, say, Roller Room and Turtle Rock. You're much more likely to have it by then.
Yeah, that's true.
No way. Oh, he picked up the monkey. Yeah, so that's kind of funny. He ended up paying 5 rupees just for the monkey to follow him and tell him, get lost. Oh, I didn't see how Zethno died there.
Dark room.
Ah, okay. Oh, and it looks like he's saving and quitting, so he's going to come back to that after he gets the lamp. Luckily, that's accessible in Hype Cave. And yeah, skunkner doing that exact play, deciding to go into Eastern first. And hopefully it's because he realizes that there's, was it like 90 rupees or something in the back of Eastern?
Yes. Plus, the Eastern to pod is, like he said, is a more appealing routing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. If you have to choose one to do first anyway, like let's do Eastern, especially when you're still low hearts and stuff. No sword.
Yeah, I don't think doing helm sword with the hammer alone is like it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Zethno activating his flute still hasn't seen what's on that shovel that he picked up there. That Skunkner is about to get here in Eastern Palace.
Hopefully he remembers that he hasn't, and hopefully we won't have to go through the conundrum of if the progression was in the flute berry spot.
Zethno having a thought about where to go next, maybe considering that Hype Cave play, but decides to continue on. Still thinking about it. No, he decided to flute away.
And he is going into back. Okay, yeah, is going to Hype Cave, which makes more sense. Which, as far as density checks goes, and ease of the density, well, ease of getting early checks in the Dark World, this makes sense.
And there's a lot that can be gained from these other areas to improve Village of Outcasts. Like, Village of Outcasts is improved by both Mitts and Mirror, both of which he lacks right now. Whereas the Hype Cave check, literally nothing improves that check. It doesn't get, as long as you have bombs, it doesn't get any better than it is right now,
Yeah.
But sometimes, you don't have, maybe you have Mitts Darkhold access and you can't just go straight here, so it's nice to do it when you can.
Gets his flute. I mean, not get his flute, but get his lantern. Now now you can see in all that darkness. Most likely going to take another shot at Eastern at this point.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because if he was going to do that, he might think about save and quitting, but there's a mirror on the pyramid ledge. Yeah, so he might be orphaning that with this play because, if he goes to Eastern right away, then he's going to be incentivized to flute to 5 to go to pod, which means that he's going to not go by pyramid ledge.
Unless he finishes both Eastern pod and then go to pyramid ledge. At least that's what I like to think.
Yeah, if he does that play, then yeah. But it just makes it harder to think about when he's going to route that in. But instead, looks like he's going to start in Village of Outcasts.
Well, unfortunately, in the runner's mind, they might be thinking the mirror is here. And what we know that's not the play.
Yeah, and I don't think Zethno's done a map check yet, so he also doesn't know that Thieves Town is dependent.
Most likely going to do his map check here once he gets to the Dark World, and no.
And
okay, Zethno. Anytime now.
He's looking for the hammer. Wait, what the heck? Why couldn't he item to the hammer? That was weird. We're looking for some item to deal with that guard. And and just as I predicted, Skunkner did indeed pick up those rupees in back of Eastern. So smart play there from Skunkner, and nice awareness of what kind of stuff you have available to you to help you with the routing. Do you like how hard I work at not saying nice heads up play?
I mean, I was gonna applaud you up until that point, but I think I'm just gonna stay silent.
I kind of applauded myself there, didn't I?
So we are gonna see what could be a quick kill on Armos from Skunkner. Good old-fashioned rapid-fire bow action.
Nice. Yeah, well done.
And
Nice early bomb drop from Zethno there too.
And in 27 minutes in, we had gotten our first crystal as Zethno pulls up the ice rod in the brewery room. Unfortunately, I don't think Turtle Rock will be the place to go to. So that ice rod just making his presence known, but not really wanted.
Yeah, although one of the great things about how he's decided to do this here, he's down to 1 heart. So if he gets enough items here, he could decide to Death Warp very quickly from the front without getting sucked into the entire dungeon. He did get a Bombos in the front there.
almost in the front, and we get a compass, so there is a potential item in the back, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's going to be a maximum of 2 items up front here. So there's going to be basically at least 3 items, maybe even 4, including the green pendant that he can get by going to the back. And might get a little... Oh, okay, interesting route to dodge the bunny beam there.
Yeah, getting a little... Feeling a little bit antsy there, being on a less than 1 heart. Half a heart, I should say.
And I think that... Was that a heart on Skunkner's side, the first chest of pod there?
I think so.
And let's see what Zethno does. Is he going to death warp out, or is he going to continue on to the back? It looks like he's continuing on. Which makes a lot of sense density-wise, but he's got to be real careful here on half heart.
I feel like if he dies at this point, he might as well just abandon the idea of going at finishing up this dungeon and going elsewhere.
It's one of those situations where you think about like, oh man, if I die or I skip a check, then that's bad, right? But it might actually save you time. Your quote unquote mistakes can sometimes save you time in the end. It just depends on whether or not there's progress here.
And as we all know in a rando seed, nothing is guaranteed.
Yeah, especially if you're playing blind rando. Now, spoiler rando, that's the mode of champions. Skunkner getting 2 keys in the right side, so there's at least 2 more keys in the front. See if he can deduce and maybe skip a chest here. Oh, these are some bad cricket patterns on Zethno's side. And was that a map on Skunkner?
That was a map on the I forgot what they call that chest.
Oh, thank goodness for Blue Mail there, because that cricket caught up with him.
Yeah, that would have spelled the end for the dive down into Thieves Town. But looks like he just gonna trot along just fine, being at low health. Though I like to feel like anxiety is just kicking in high gear now, as skunkner just kind of outplayed himself there for a moment.
Yep, but is able to fall back in the pit to get back where he needs to be to flip that switch. So
good, quick thinking.
Yeah, chat kind of pointing out that I kind of forget that Zethno did not do a map check, but he can hear the dungeon music. So, he might be able to deduce that this is a pendant. He wouldn't know it's a green pendant without that map check, but...
Unless he has his music muted, and that would be a big uh-oh situation.
Yeah.
Who would mute this music?
Oh, fairy drop, oh. That was a little hairy. It would not be the first time that a fairy drop has inadvertently killed somebody. So I'm trying to chase that fairy.
We do have a key that we need to check into this big chest, and we get half magic. So I guess if that is all the items here, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a nice safety. I think that it can come into logic, particularly with the cape, in terms of putting Spike Haven logic.
Yeah, that is true. But I think outside of that, there's really nothing much into this dungeon. Well, nothing left. Unless, Zethno is going to do a hard flex on us and beat this boss and then somehow pull out a win from this.
Oh my god, is he going to do hammer try next? Or blind? He's going to try it.
Oh boy.
This is really hard to do. Especially 4 hearts blue mail, now down to 3. There is a quote-unquote script, almost like the sword script. There's a few of them actually, but they're a lot harder. Doing good so far. And his cape won't help him here, remember everybody, because he doesn't have an item to use while he's got the cape on. He can do it right now. This is really smart.
It takes the time for the downtime to get into position at the very least to get into hammer range, so it looks like it. And this is a hammer swing. Hopefully he's not gonna
Yeah, he can take a fireball hit here in blue mail, but he cannot take another hit from ahead. Oh, there we go.
And unfortunately, takes a hit from the blind man himself. Down he goes. Now he has to do that fight unscripted, unless he's just gonna say, "I'm done."
Yeah, that makes sense that he's going to leave. But yeah, I applaud Zethno for giving that a shot. He made it pretty far there in the third phase, and you know, if he comes back with a sword with that cape, the fact that it's unscripted, you know, it'll be fine.
It's worth noting though that while he was dodging all those fireballs, he was using the pause to kind of get an idea of where the fireballs was going into and whether he should like use the cape not at that time. So
yeah,
pretty good buffering. Right.
Yeah,
there.
I like to see that on players because I think that pause buffering is a really underutilized strategy, and it takes practice to get good at. I mean, it seems weird to say, but it does take practice to get used to pause buffering.
Digging game only gave us 50 rupees, so we're just gonna pass that up. We don't really need much more money unless we need money for blue potions.
All right, now Skunkner gonna do his boss fight without a sword.
We got a swordless run, so it seems from so far.
And I guess we picked up a fire rod here in pod. I was so distracted by Zethno's Thieves Town.
Cracks open the masks. Now he just needs to land all the rest of these. Okay, there we go. I was about to say, if he misses all of his shots here, he's gonna have a bad time.
Yeah, got a really nice pattern there from Helmut too. Okay, so Zethno now going to pod. So unfortunately, this will make it a lot harder for him to route back in the mirror on the Pyramid Ledge, which we know is required thanks to Swamp Palace. But we'll get the fire rod here at least before they go up to Turtle Rock, which is good. Oh, never mind. Call me a liar.
Wow, I think he is going to go and check out the Pyramid Ledge before going into any more dungeons. So yeah, he will get his mirror, and once he sees that, he'll definitely start going ahead and clearing more dungeons at this point.
Now where does Skunkner go? I mean, I guess he can do what Zethno just got finished doing and go to the Village of Outcasts.
Village of Outcasts goes into Skull Woods from there afterwards, and then I believe after Skull Woods, some will say this will be a bad idea to do, but I feel like going into Swamp Palace would be a good idea just to dip into. Just to check do a full clear before heading towards boss.
Well, you don't have the hook shot, so you couldn't full clear.
I mean, yeah, not full clear, but at least cleared up to the point before boss.
Oh, I see. Yeah, yeah. I like this play though from Skunkner because he has that mirror. He can go ahead and do all of Light World Death Mountain. Maybe get the mitts here, and that would also allow him to do Dark World Death Mountain, except for Hookshot Cave.
That is to say, maybe Hookshot Cave is in Paradox or could be in Hera.
And Zethno also going up to Catfish, so not wanting to isolate this check.
I think this is the first time we've seen up Death Mountain, correct?
Yep.
So yeah.
It was the lack of mirror, I think, that or mirror or hookshot that kept us from coming here earlier.
So yeah, on top of Spectacle Rocks, we get a shield. We're not gonna really touch that, and we get 20 rupees inside Spectacle Rocks. So even more junk. A good thing about this though is that they have the book, so they can check out the Ether Medallion's tablet and see what's in there.
Yeah, that's nice that you can get that on your first trip up here. And looks like Zethno is going to be following close behind.
And Skunkner picking up the shield. Don't know why he would want the shield, but I guess that's a flex.
I mean, Oh my god.
And that is where our next pair of gauntlets is at.
And
So
it's locked behind a master sword.
So, if there's no other swords within the obvious spots, you'll need boots to get a sword, and then perhaps look elsewhere to get another one.
Wow. What a situation. Oh, Zethno's got to be careful here. He's on a one-hit kill from these falling rocks. Yep, looks like we're going to switch to cape and see how deep Skunkner will go here. Oh, got a big key, so he's going up, of course.
Yeah, decide not to go in the coffee break room. This is an understandable plan. Usually you'll wait till after you finish beating the boss to do coffee break room, or you just skip it altogether. It's a bit of a time sink after all, but then again, it could have our sword, or could have the boots.
Yeah,
I don't know which one is worse.
Yeah. But, you know, considering that both these players have been so careful not to isolate locations, I would be surprised. If there is an item in the basement, I would be surprised if either of them skip it.
Well, it all depends on the big chest and Mort. If either of those two does not have our item that we're looking for, we will have to safely assume that it has to be in coffee break room.
Yep.
Thankfully enough, that was our second item, 20 rupees, so we don't have to worry about that.
Ooh, Skunkner here. Oh, tried to do the rail clip, almost got it there. So yeah, when you have fire there that's up against that wall on the right side from that Kadongo, you can rail clip into that rail by holding a diagonal through the rail and facing left while you do so. Sometimes people slash their sword. That's not necessary, but looks like he did the sword slashless method. It's hard to tell because he doesn't have a sword, but it's cool to see that that kind of tech in the challenge code.
Yeah. Get to play Whack the Morty at this arena. And it looks like skunkner just does it in clean fashion. No issues here whatsoever.
Yeah, very nice kill there. So a cool 3 crystal lead on Zethno, although Zethno has cleared out almost all of Thieves Town, so it depends on if Skunkner is going to go back and do that or not. Plus, you know, he's also cleared everything in Eastern Palace except for the boss, so you know, it's more like 2.5 dungeons, and maybe less if Skunkner ends up doing that. Uh-oh, Zethno tried to go for the bomb jump, ended up falling in the bad pit.
Gets dropped into the beginning of the dungeon. And now he has to do the climb of shame, is what I like to call it, to get back up to the that he was before. It's going to take him some time, but not a lot.
Yeah, it's
a lot.
It's hard especially if you've learned that bomb jump setup by using the sword spin release method to line up on the edge of the pit. Because they don't have a sword, they can't do that. So this swordless mode really challenging them right now. Like this is, you know, especially considering how few hearts they still have. This is kind of a high execution focused seed. Last arrow there from Skunkner to take out that mini Moldorm.
And we get our sword number 1. Well, second sword, since we already know one is at the library, but still a sword nonetheless. They'll need another one to get the access to their Titansmiths, which is, I'm pretty sure, going to be soon enough. Who knows? Paradox Cave could have our boots. Paradox Cave could have our other sword.
Oh, chat pointing out that Zethno did not check the tablet. Might be doing that after Tower of Hera, hopefully.
I like to think they'll do it after Tower of Hera if they haven't checked it, like approaching it.
Uh-oh. So, okay, here's an issue. Skunkner just got the red cane, which is something I was thinking about before, because Zethno did not do pod first like Skunkner did, so he doesn't have a fire rod. Skunkner is going to be able to go right into Turtle Rock if they have the correct medallion. Meanwhile, Zethno won't really have that choice, or if they do, it'll be really unfortunate, because it would end up being a double dip in the TR.
And there is our boots, and there is our access to Titansmiths, thankfully enough.
Oh wait, never mind. They need the Titans Mint and they need the other sword. So yeah, never mind. They couldn't go directly into
like with Yeah, they'll still need Tysmith in order to get the Turtle Rock, but the more important thing though is that we got our second sword located, which is at the library thanks to the boots.
And doing a nice little mirror out the front there. I don't know if that saves time if you have the boots, but it is still really cool tech to know. Like, it's technically a dungeon, so you can mirror to the front. And there's that nice tab check from Zethno. Skunkner going to King's Tomb, got a little ahead of himself, forgot that he hasn't yet picked up the mitts, but because he's already thinking in his mind, okay, now where to go with the mitts, and decided to go to King's Tomb, but forgot didn't have them yet.
Yeah, needs to check Bonk Rock searching for King Sum and then make sure he gets to the library. And then he has to make the climb back up to Death Mountain in order to get to his other sword. Isn't TR a pendant though?
Oh yeah, wait, yeah, good point. I forgot about that.
I was gonna say, like, TR is kind of a pendant, so I don't think there's any point in rushing it just yet, unless we exhaust the rest of the checks. Plus, our runners don't really have. I don't think they have the right essential tools just yet to get into there. I'd rather for them to finish the rest of their dungeons first, or exhaust the rest of their checks before doing some pendant
pendant TR, yeah.
Though I could be completely wrong, and I feel like the seed is going to thoroughly correct me on that, where progression is in TR. But with the way how this seed is playing out and what they got so far and what they still need to finish the seed, they are not too far off in finishing. They need their fire rod, they need the hook shot, and I do believe
and that's it, really. Like
a medallion to, at the very least, one of the 3 medallions to open up Misery Mire, which we have no knowledge of which medallion is needed to unlock it.
Yeah, which, basically 66% chance, but since you have 2 of them, well, Skunkner doesn't have 2, but we'll get to soon since he's going into Village of Outcasts and also pick up that ice rod. And
yeah,
we're probably saying the same thing at the same time.
Zethno getting his boots. Yeah. So yeah, I feel like Zethno, where is he? Well, I guess he could save and quit, but I think he's gonna check one more area out, and I think I know what it could be. Spike Cave.
Oh yeah, okay, that's interesting. So that's why he's trying to bomb himself back up. And is he gonna walk out to go back there? Maybe he's gonna flute now. Yeah, looks like he's fluting away.
Yeah, abandoning the idea after the failed bomb jump. That's not a bad idea. Just go ahead, keep on moving, get your Master Sword. He could, once he gets the Master Sword from here, go back up to Death Mountain and then do Spike Cave after he gets his mitts.
Yeah, it's interesting because ordinarily you'd think about like, man, I don't want to orphan Hookshot Cave by doing Dark Death Mountain early, but I mean, Hookshot is your go mode. I mean, he doesn't know that quite yet. He is not sure about the medallion, doesn't have the fire rod from Pod. And looks like he is going to go check the medallion requirement. I really like this play. Oh, wait, no, he's going to go away. I was going to say, because you don't want to get in like basically go mode, but not know whether or not you have the correct medallion.
Yeah, that's right. And that well, not right, but that's correct. Excuse me.
I mean, it's both right and correct.
Yeah.
Isn't that true?
Yeah. But yeah, he's getting a little too ahead of himself. He still needs to get the Titans first before he can do that actual check.
And Skunkner, meanwhile, coming into Skullwoods, Crystal Dungeon decided to do a reverse clear.
Since this is a crystal dungeon, reverse clear is not that uncommon of a decision to do, which is okay by my book, because it allows you to see if the 2 items are on the boss and the chest itself. But you will want that big key just to do another additional check, just in case something is in there.
Yeah, for sure. Here we go. Let's check out the boss fight on Skunkner's side. Nice spin to start. And up against the spikes there, you don't want to hit him to the right when he's on the right wall like that.
Jason San used the green potion to throw out some more fire rod shots.
Nice.
And out he goes.
That was very fast.
Pretty clean Mafia fight. And we get red mail. That's some added defense onto our already bulky defense of blue mail. Won't be that much of an issue taking damage now, hopefully, in the rest of the seed.
And now we'll be able to breathe fire, so that's nice.
That is how that works, right? Just you're red and you can just breathe fire now.
Yeah, sprites give unique game mechanical benefits, right? Oh god, could you imagine? Oh, somebody make that, please.
I'll be all for that, except instead of it being red to breathe fire, you gotta be like yellow or pink.
Must eat shell first, yeah. Oh, doing a pedestal check here. Yeah, it could be hookshot on here, but no, it's just a little piece of love. Oh, was that Quake on TR, looks like, on Zethno's side?
That is Quake on TR. I don't think he'll be diving into TR yet. He doesn't even have Fire Rod, so there's no point in doing so.
Oh.
He will try to do some bonking, like some high action bonking action.
Oh, there's the map check. And I was going to say,
map check.
that was almost really risky from him, because if he had bonked and hit the Bari, then he wouldn't be able to get back without dying. so I think he realized that, and that's why he picked up the heart there. But you know what? He did already do Super Bunny Cave, so it doesn't really matter if he dies here other than just missing this check.
And we get 10 arrows. Yay.
And getting a bomb jump from Skunkner to the Skullwood's chest. Nicely done.
Gets a key for his efforts. Gonna take that over to the left side. And here we are with Zethno going into Misery Mire. We're gonna get our check from there and see what we get. And it's a Quake medallion. So they just need the hookshot fire rod, and then they're good to go. Right?
Yeah. That's it. So I guess it's a matter of how soon he goes over to do pod. And also, I mean, look, they're still on such low hearts. You know, is he going to go into Mire right now or not? I think is the question.
Well, he can get across with the boots, but something tells me if I was him, I would hold off on doing that. I would do other things first before doing that.
Yeah, or at least go buy potions. You know, maybe do Desert Palace while he's here, but then go buy potions before he comes back.
Yeah, Master Sword Cape is not a bad thing either, to be honest. But if you're gonna clear that dungeon, make sure you do Desert Palace, as the chat is pointing out. Definitely doing Desert Palace first will be a good idea, and it seems like our friend Zinthos is gonna do that, but he's gonna check the front part first before going into the back.
Smart, yeah, you're gonna need that big key. Oh, and Skunker doing this without mitts, but it works out because he got the mirror. So you can route it in with Graveyard Ledge rather than coming here in the light world.
And we get a tempered sword in the back of Cemetery. That is where our third location of the sword is at. Sword upgrades as far as that goes. Blah, blah, blah.
So there's kind of a difference that's been developed here, a distance between Zethno and Skunker. So, Skunkner, excuse me. So if you're a Zethno fan, I think the best scenario you could hope for is hookshot in Swamp Palace and Zethno goes there early and Skunkner does not. But even if he gets the hookshot here in Desert, Skunkner is going to be shortly behind him. But did he just skip the big chest? Well, he did. I guess he's going to do the boss first and then see if he really needs to do the big chest or not.
Yeah, that would make some sense. They did, wait, no, they didn't pick up any other items. And we did know that the torch had a shield, so thank goodness for that. I don't want to see no mirror shield today.
And getting dead rock there on Skunkner's side. Almost decides to flute away, but then perseveres. Oh no!
Man, if it's not the dead rocks, it's the boulders themselves. This is why your mother didn't like you. Rocks, turtle rocks. You're always rolling around and blocking everyone's path.
Oh, dude, did you see that, dude? Oh, I love that tech from Skunkner. Just stole my heart. Did you see that?
Amazing.
So that's great. So if you're in spin speed and you hold an item over your head, then you will ascend a stair as if you had also like held a sword charge out and did a hook dash on the stair. You know, like that quick stair tech. So
Yeah.
that's a fun way to get that done. You can also do it with a bomb, but it's really cool to see. I love seeing that.
Skunker getting their Titansman. Looks like they're gonna flute on out. Not even gonna check into Spike Cave, which I guess that makes sense. Though I feel like if you're already up there, you should be checking Spike Cave at this point. Here's hoping Hookshot is not locked behind Spike Cave, by the way.
Oh, down to half heart here on Landmo. Oh, okay, nice. Okay, cape, right.
Interestingly enough, you can use the ice rod to handle this fight with like 2 shots, but it requires a different set of timing, and it could be very tricky to land.
Oh no! Zethno popped off the cape at the exact wrong time, gets hit by one of those rocks. I think it might have been a rock that did not even appear on screen as a sprite. Sometimes the sprites overload.
That is rather unfortunate.
And yeah, finally gonna come and pick up some potions here now.
Gonna get a blue and a red, which I can understand. Usually I would go for 2 blues. But
Yeah, maybe was hoping to get a green potion in there as well, but didn't have quite enough cash. I mean, it's hard. Like, you're going fast. You just died on a boss. Okay, what's 160 plus 120 plus 60?
Had to speed run some math and came up a little bit short, but that's okay.
Remember in school when you were like, teacher, when am I ever going to use this? Why am I going to need to solve these arithmetic really fast? Well, randomizer. That's why, kids. 3-digit arithmetic. Get on it. It's important.
So Skunkner is going through Desert Palace while Zethno is going to the back end to finish up what he has started in that dungeon. While our runners are going through the Desert Palace, Findanzo, I would like to mention that you should give a follow to these runners for doing a fantastic job of handling the seed so far, as well as our tracker Cinaeth, who is also doing the restream. And give a follow to, well, you probably already followed him. He is no stranger to danger. You should give a follow to Qirn himself, being over here tolerating my presence as I speak here like an idiot.
Nah, I think you're doing much more tolerated than I am. But yeah, also same for my comm partner, EsperHubb. Okay. Oh, switching to hammer strats here on Landmo. Now feeling a little bit more confident with those potions. So probably would have done that if was not quite so concerned with their health before.
I guess I can understand this, but I feel like if you're going to use that magic, you should go all in at the very least until you run out. You can always get a refill once you beat the boss. That's the way I see it. But then again, I don't really miss that much with the ice rod. And if I do with half magic, I will be walking in chain if I came in there with but left out with like empty magic and I somehow still died, I guess.
Well, I guess there's also a point at which you got to like think about cutting your losses. Like if you miss enough of the ice rod, you're like, okay, never mind. Maybe I don't know how. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm not going to get the timing. Let's do something I can do.
I suppose. But yeah, we get our 4th sword location, and that'll be Skunker's buttered sword, and that will definitely mean that the rest of these fights will be trivial. Hopefully, at least I'll hope so. There will be no more deaths from here on out from difficulty fighting bosses.
Don't jinx it. Oh, Zethno going straight into Meyer. Yeah, now with the confidence of those bottles, it makes a lot of sense. But I know that Skunkner will be close behind. So again, if you are a Zethno fan, what you really need here is some radical diversions, maybe even an Ice Palace pendant dip. Maybe that's what it would take. Skunkner still does have some overworld to catch up on, I do believe, that Zethno's done, if I'm not mistaken. But otherwise, what we have here is just a few situations where Zethno died in the back of a dungeon, so missing a few crystals. Plus, I just think that Skunkner has been like executing like a beast, so it's going to be hard to make up time there.
Yeah, the only way Skunkner will probably mess this up is if he doesn't make if his call, like the rest of his calls of going into where could his go item be, not being there at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah, both of our runners are going into the Misery Mire, with Zethno already getting their feet wet in there, going through their first chest, hoping that this is a God Mire. And it is totally a God Mire. You love to see it happen, but they're not just out of the woods yet. They're probably going to check the rest of this dungeon just to see if they can get their 2 items.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, it would be gutsy to just go straight back and be like, you know what? Screw it. I'm going all 4. I mean, one thing you could do is go straight back to the boss to see if it has an item, and maybe that makes your clear of the rest of the dungeon faster. But no.
Yeah, that would actually that would actually be a great idea to do, because not only that you'll get the boss out the way, but if you also get an item there, that's one less item to look for.
I've definitely seen that play from a few runners, Pink Kitty Rose and Blaine, where you go straight back to the boss, and if you get an item on the boss in Mire, you don't come back in, because at that point you're committing to 4 extra minutes for 1 item. It's very terrible. So it's a really galaxy brain play to do that, but it does actually make sense. Okay, let's see if Skunkner goes for a galaxy brain play like that. And oh, I think that we might be seeing some galaxy.
Oh, we get some magic powder from chest number. I want to say that's chest number 3, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. No, he did the net chest. No, yeah, he did the net chest. That's actually chest number 4 for him.
Okay.
And if this is indeed the like Pink Kitty Rose / Blaine / whoever, I don't know, go to boss, have a think route. That's a really long, but you know, I don't name these routes. Then that could be really bad for Skunkner if he does isolate that powder, if and only if the powder leads to the hook shot. Oh man, I'm out of breath. But that's what we do here in the comm booth chat. We theorize. We theorize about the crazy situations that could come up in all the convoluted scenarios.
And thankfully, we get to see it unfold as our runners go through the areas for us without us having to worry about our guesses being completely wrong.
Yeah, item on Vidi is probably not what you want to see if you want Skunkner to pick up that powder, which again, we don't know if that's necessary. He could also find mushrooms somewhere in fake powder, maybe, if Hookshot was there. And I just also want to point out here, if Zethno does do something crazy and goes like early pendant Ice Palace, the game's not over. You know, there's still, I think even with that, Skunkner might still have a lead, a much slighter one than he has now. But it's not like that would decide the race. It would just put Zethno back in the race. And yeah, and I totally missed that fight on Skunkner's side, so good job. It looks like he used cane strats?
He did it pretty. He used some pretty clean cape strats with the goat and sword, and then finished it up with the bow and arrow. But more like that is pretty standard work there. And Skunkner going back in because that was definitely not an item on Vidi. and they're gonna see if they can find their items in the rest of the rooms. Most likely, they'll eventually come across the magic powder. If they do, like, you know, then yeah, well, they'll just have magic powder.
So Zethno, I think, did he skip the big chest? I think he didn't go for the big chest and also the compass chest on the right side there.
Yeah, he skipped those. Zentho's probably betting on Viddy having an item, which we know is a key. That means Zentho may be gambling on skipping out on the rest of those chests for the check.
Yeah, it could be, and maybe that'll be good if that ends up meaning Skunkner double dips and he doesn't. But if he ends up going back in for that, then they equalize in the sense that they're both going to double dip in this dungeon.
Some good cape dashing from Zentho's side, and going to finish up with some arrows. Nice standard procedure, clean.
And we'll see if Zethno goes back in, or maybe makes up a little bit of time on Skunkner here in this dungeon. At a certain point, you know, one of the things you got to start thinking about is, do I feel behind or ahead? And if you feel behind, you got to start making some gambles, you know. And this might be a good opportunity for Zethno to make a gamble.
With the deaths that he have on hands and though, it would be rather good idea to just skip on some of these. As we get to see Skunkner pull up a heart on the other end over there, meaning that Zentho just made the right call at the last moment. So now we get to see both runners going to Gina K, going to see what's in that chest. If it's a hook shot, though, it's going to be a little bit of disaster there.
And it's just a red shield. So I think at this point, the real items that are left for us are slow stuff. Like you got Smith Chain, you got the dipping of Swamp without hookshot, and then you have the Ice Palace Pennant. But Zethno skipping right side Mire maybe is an indicator that he's willing to take some big risks now. So let's see where he goes, if he goes to a dungeon or not. He's gonna go to pot, right? Okay, that makes sense because he's got to get that fire on.
Yeah, he's gonna finish up his plate. Hopefully, once he finishes up, he will start making some drastic plays.
And meanwhile, Skunkner now gonna pick up his bombos, probably here. And we'll see if he ends up going into back of Feastown. Now, he's going to be more incentivized to do this than he would have been before because he's got a lot fewer checks available to him now. He's done all the crystal dungeons he can. He may end up going in the back, and that could also save Zethno some time that he had lost by dipping into Feastown. And yeah, Zethno going to come back and clean up Armos Knights first. Makes sense before going back into pod.
Hopefully Zethno knows that he can get some rupees at the other back end of the back part of the Eastern Palace from here.
Right, to reopen that dungeon. Yeah, that's funny. In fact, I think it might be the exact same rupee value on each side that they entered Eastern with. 44 rupees on Zethno's side. I think that's the same that Skunkner had when he came into Eastern Palace to look for rupees. But he's got to ruin our fun and games for finding a big 20. Come on.
Well, he only needs like a 50 more, and that could still be rather elusive on the enemy drop table.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I'm sure you're still going to go back to rupee room. It's just like you could have had the exact same rupee value when you went into pod and you ruined it. Ugh. Much easier time with this. Won't speak too early, but yeah, much easier time with this room in the light than when you're in the dark. Oh, not gonna get the rupees. No.
Go back. You gotta go to the right, not the left.
Oh,
not the left.
You know, and I gotta say though, I mean, I think that it is a thing that not everybody's aware of, or that's easy to forget that there are rupees back there. So it's not like this is knowledge that we expect everybody to have, but it is unfortunate that they're going to miss out on that. Oh, and realize he needs the rupees. Just yeah, I think that indicates that he doesn't know about the rupee room. Okay, so mimics I think are in the money prize pack, so he might be able to get enough money from these mimics here to get in, but he'd have to get extraordinarily lucky. I think next is a 20, and then it's a 5, and then he would need... I don't know where he's going to get the money from. Oh, no, never mind. It's a 5 and then a 20.
Yep, just short 20 rupees there, but it's gonna have to shortchange it for a little bit. Messing up the Armos, unfortunately, but that's okay. He can recover from that.
Yeah, forget if there's an item here or not. Like, it'd be hilarious to get 20 rupees here, get bailed out a little bit. But no, it's just a map.
Meanwhile, we get 50 rupees in Peg Cave.
So what's Zethno going to do? Is he going to try to farm some rupees off these enemies out front, or is he going to go flute away and get some rupees somewhere else? He's thinking about it. He's going in the portal. So you can't... Enemies will not drop items if you dash through them, unfortunately.
He does have the shovel. He could dig it up.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. That would be a nice thing to consider. I mean, he might mirror back and forth just to kill more enemies, but I don't think that those enemies were in the correct pool. Okay.
Magic Bag did give us some more rupees, speaking of, you know, needing more rupees. So, Magic Powder did not lead into the desired item.
Oh, there's 5. Yeah, so those statue guards look like they must be in the same pool. I mean, I didn't know this, but must be in the same pool as mimics because they're also doing the rupee drops. So a couple more guard kills here should get it for him. It's not quite it. He needs 7 more. Hopefully he knows that.
I don't think he does. Oh no, he's gonna come up short again.
I always forget if it's 105 or 110. I'm pretty sure it's 110, right?
It's 110, yeah.
Yeah, so there's Kiki. He took the money. Now he's 7 short. But I don't think these enemies are...
Oh no, Kiki ran out. He got hit and Kiki ran away.
Yeah, so now he's got to get back up to 110.
Well, you can't be doing that with all these dashes.
Yeah, that's a thing you might not know is that, yeah, you dash, you know, you can't advance the prize pack at all. And that's used in the NMG run intentionally to retain certain things in the prize pack. It's not 105 though. Hopefully he knows that. He's got to get 2 more rupees. I mean, these bonks might actually be doing him a little service here. Yeah, letting it... Nice. Actually, that could be intentional. Those bonks could be intentional to refresh the screen quickly. And pyramid, I mean, purple chest is nothing, but unfortunately, spending all this time here farming for some money is allowing Skunkner to just wrap up all these overworld stuff. So there's not really much left for Skunkner other than to go into these dungeons, which was Zethno's biggest out remaining, was to go into these pennant dungeons or dips and get the hookshot there.
We do get a check on the Bombos tablet, and that gives us 20 more rupees. It seems like all the rupees is going towards Skunkner's way. Like, the game, the RNG just decided to just rob Zethno of all that kind of money.
Yeah. And, you know, credit to Skunkner for knowing about that rupee room. Not everybody does or realizes, like, that's important for randomizer.
Yeah, it's really, really important to have that kind of knowledge on hand in case you need to do some off the route planning.
Yeah, it's one of those obscure things that doesn't always come up, but can be useful when it does. Situations like this. So it looks like Skunkner is going to go ahead and dip the Crystal Dungeon. This makes sense rather than doing the Pen and Ice Palace play. But now, timing-wise, even if it doesn't find the hook shot here, has to go into Ice Palace, which is pretty much his only option left. I mean, I guess he could do Pen and Turtle Rock.
They do have the necessary tools to get into there, so I would.
Oh, sorry, and also Pen and Thieves Town.
Pen and Thieves Town didn't yield anything.
Well, no, but Skunkner hasn't done it yet.
Oh, yeah, Skunker hasn't done it, so yeah. We know it has nothing, but Skunker doesn't know this, so yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine the scenario in which Zethno could catch up some time. And the scenario is, it's terrible for Skunkner's side, because what it would mean is going into Ice Palace and Thieves Town and not getting the hook shot. And then Zethno going immediately after Pod into Turtle Rock and finding the hook shot there. That's probably Zethno's best chance for catching back up here.
Yeah.
And, but he doesn't know that, right? Like, he doesn't know what Skunkner's done and not done, and so it's hard to know exactly what to do. Even if you feel like you're behind, it's hard to know exactly which of these weird plays you should do next.
That is true, and that is I'd say that's the beauty of randomizer. You have to think about what your opponent, like, there's not only like playing against the game's random generated location of items, but to assume or think of what your opponent has done before and what you could do in order to help circumvent that.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I think that people imagine that, like, the theory or meta of randomizer is a lot more solid than it actually is. Like, a lot of the things that everybody does, there's no real good reason behind it. We just do it because everybody does it. And there's a lot of vocabulary we could borrow from, like, say, poker or Magic the Gathering. Like, for instance, playing to your outs is what we're talking about right now. Is understanding, like, if I feel behind, what could catch me back up? What are the most extreme plays that are most likely to catch me back up? In this case, for Zethno, he doesn't know what Skunkner has and hasn't done, but he could predict that it's much more likely that he would go to Ice Palace or Thieves Town over Turtle Rock, because he's likely to have gone up to Turtle Rock with, gone up to Dark Death Mountain with those mitts and not wanted to go into a pendant dungeon. So being able to review the seed in your mind and remember where things were and think about the route that your opponent could have taken through takes a lot of practice and a huge amount of mental energy that you don't always have in the middle of a game. But it's that kind of gameplay that can really help you out of situations like this.
And that is it for today's TED Talk on mind games with your host, Qirn.
Yeah, wasn't there a Go Mode podcast about this recently?
I believe so.
Yeah, they talked about the meta. Yeah.
Speaking of which, you should, if you're interested in the ins and outs and sometimes the what ifs and whatnots of the randomizer, Gomo Podcast hosts a very, very useful podcast that talks and elaborates more on the intricacies of a randomized Legend of Zelda game, Linking to the Past. They also cover a bit of other stuff as well, so if you're interested to listen in on some of the things that have been happening along with the randomizer community, I say feel free to give it a listen.
Sorry. Did Skunkner check right side first before checking left side here?
I think so. And he checked left side. Okay. And unfortunately, none of them yielded the hook shot, unless it's in French vanilla location, and then we could say this is why we hate randomizer sometimes. It's the item, because the item is always where you least expected it to be, even it's in the intended location. But I really doubt it's in this French vanilla location. It's a map.
Okay, well, I mean, This solid play from Skunkner, but if you want to see a close race here, that's good news for us as the viewership anyway, because this is one of those things that we listed that would need to happen to put Zethno back in the race here.
So yeah. Now the big $1 million question is, Skunker's going into Death Mountain. They may be going into doing wait a minute. Okay, it looks like they're gonna get some potions, but from the looks of things, they may be going into Death Mountain. And if that's the case, Zethno should hope. Well, we would like to hope that Zethno will be going into Ice Palace to see if they can get the hook shot in there and be at the least on the heels of Skunkner. Oh yeah, mushroom check-in. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, but now coming up to Turtle Rock. So I guess the scenario I listed is actually reversed here, because I just assumed that Skunkner would do Ice Palace next, but Zethno would need to go directly into Ice Palace next, find the hookshot there, while Skunkner doesn't get anything from Turtle Rock in order for this game to get much closer. But now on Helma, so we're about to see what Zethno does after this boss fight. And getting just absolutely dead rocked here.
Can we ban dead rocks from the randomizer? Just erase them, delete them off the ROM or something like that, or the seeds.
I know, right? I mean, they're like, honestly, okay, I'm gonna get a little theoretical here as we see some stuff we've already seen before. But what makes a good enemy, right? In Minecraft, a good enemy. I'm talking about Minecraft, and we're casting right now. But listen though, it's a crazy idea. Okay, right? The good enemy in Minecraft is the creeper, because it blows up the things you create, which is what the game is all about. It's about creating things. So of course, creeper is the best enemy. Very smart, creative enemy to have included in the game. In a randomizer, the dead rock might be the best enemy in that same regard, because what we're trying to do is go fast, and this is the enemy that impedes that the most. So as far as game design goes, I think that Koji Kondo et al. Accidentally designed the best enemy for speedruns.
Could he not, though?
I mean, they could have, but this is the game we got.
No one said that he could have. No one told him that putting these giant or unkillable things that blocks our path was a great idea. I'm pretty sure of it. If not, I'll go back in time and tell him specifically to do so.
Well, the thing is, though, they are killable. You just would never want to do it in a speedrun.
Oh my goodness, you're right, because of Quake.
Quake and Powder. Actually, does Quake transforms them?
Yeah, I think because Quake does do animations, if I'm not mistaken. So I think they should turn into slimes, if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the only medallion that I remember vividly that transforms enemies, or grounded-based enemies, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's something that never comes up in the randomizer. I mean, there was one time where I had no magic coming up to Turtle Rock, and I transformed a dead rock into a blob so that I could stun drop it, using fake powder because I didn't have any magic, in order to get the full magic drop from the stun drop. But that never happens,
Randomizer. This game be weird like that.
Okay, so Zethno now catching up with some crystals here. This is the last crystal that they have to catch up on, actually. So yeah, we can actually really see the difference between them. And if Zethno goes straight from here to Ice, and if Ice happens to have the hook shot, this is a race again suddenly. But that's a lot of ifs.
That is definitely a lot of what ifs there. And on this seed, it's only a matter of time until we get to for it to reveal itself the hook shot to us. And then we all either go yay, or then we all collectively cry out in pain.
Well, and our cries may be different depending on which runner we are, and/or we went the wrong way. We went the wrong way in Turtle Rock in the fire room because we did not have the hook shot.
Yeah, Skunker just now realizing that doing a unique loop around. Thankfully, the time it gets back to here doesn't take too long, and that allows them to relight these torches to finish it up. Meanwhile, speaking of lighting it up, Zethno's lighting up Mothula with some good fire rod shots and going in there and finishing off with the big old toast bacon sword. I was going to say toasted sword.
Toasted sword.
But yeah, sealing the deal, getting their 6 crystal. Now it's just a matter of time for them to make the $1 million question decision. Will they go into Ice Palace? Or will they go into Swamp Palace? Or will they go into Turtle Rock?
That's a hard choice. I mean, I would not be surprised if they followed Skunkner's lead here and decided to do Swamp first, hoping to find the hookshot there and then just get to finish it off. But I'm nervous. Let's see where they go. You know, I say all this, but where things are, if Zethno went straight up to Turtle Rock and just followed Skunkner, he would only be like 2 minutes behind. So already they've kind of closed the gap. It just depends on how much stuff Zethno's going to do that Skunkner's already done. Before they decide to do that.
Yeah.
Nice dodging of that anti-fairy there on Skunkner from that room. So if you're not aware, that anti-fairy will hit you if you come straight down the stair, if you're holding a diagonal. But if you hold right as you're coming out of that stairwell from the floor above, then you won't get stair lag, and that's what allows you to beat that anti-fairy. So nice to see knowledge of, or sorry, not stair lag, door lag, well, basically both. Nice to see that knowledge on Skunkner there. If you guys couldn't guess yet, game knowledge is my love language. I don't know, what's your love language, Hub?
I have no idea right now. Like, I'll be honest, it's like I can look at these seeds over and over again, and I just go, what the hell am I doing here? I guess my guess would be low percentage risks paying off.
Nice. Yeah, I can get behind that.
I know a couple of low percent Mothula fights definitely get me in the riled up situation, being amped up and all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a good story. Like, you're gonna take on this super difficult fight, and then you end up getting some amazing thing from it. Oh, don't accidentally mirror. Okay, good. Phew.
Well, I think everyone speaks on the same level when a blind pedestal pull pays off as well.
And Zethno. Sorry, go ahead.
And the Mimic Room, we only get 20 rupees. So that's unfortunate. But the search continues for that hook shot.
Yep, and of course we're about to reach where the density is all at in Turtle Rock, so this could be game finishing basically right here if Hookshot's back here on Laser Bridge or something. But Zethno now got the last item from the dungeon, I do believe, or maybe...
Yeah, they got the last item.
Oh, they just grabbed the key instead of mirroring out? I don't know what... Maybe they came in a different side of the dungeon. So now is going to make a decision about where to go next. Looks like they might be doing Overworld, or maybe finishing up Blind to do the green pendant.
I like to think checking Overworld, because they haven't did the back of Cemetery either, or the King's Stone. So
yeah, okay.
So this would make sense to take a look at.
Yeah, so maybe after this, then we'll be fluting away
to a wonderful place.
Just a flute away. Just a flute away. Oh, but there's probably a rule against singing on the casting, so I apologize. I'll pay the copyright strike fines.
I don't think there was a song that was in that sort of genre or key octave there. So I think we're good.
It's a parody, okay? All right, moment of truth here from Skunkner. Will he get the hookshot here? Wait, might have one more item left on Trinex, right? I wasn't counting.
One more item on Trinex, so looks like, well, we're already in this deep. We might as well just finish the job, why don't we?
Okay, Zethno, moment of truth. Where does he go? Where does he go? Running back somewhere.
Smith chain?
Ah, okay. I think it would still be faster to float to 3 here, but yeah, that makes sense. Oh, no, Bonk Rocks.
Meanwhile, Skunkner is slicing and dicing, cleaning up doing a quick clean work of the Trinex fight, first phase.
And yeah, it looks like Zethno's kind of committed to clearing out the overworld here. He's gonna check Aghanim or Lumberjack. Maybe he's gonna float away from there.
And
oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Down goes Trinex, and hopefully we get a hookshot. Maybe. Nope, just 20 rupees. Never mind.
All right. So if Zethno leaves this overworld check stuff right now, which it doesn't feel like he's going to, and goes straight to Ice Palace, then we're like neck and neck. Oh, he's looting. Does he go to Swamp? Does he go to Ice?
Where is he going? Okay. He died here. He already finished most of Thieves Town. This makes sense to him. To finish it up, get the pendant, and then go ahead into turning in that green pendant for some item.
Oh, I thought it might be for overworld checks, but yeah, you're right. He might just be coming back here for blind, because he can do it real quick.
Yeah, it's going to be a grudge match today.
Oh.
Maybe? Yes? No? Okay.
What?
Snitchay!
Oh, man.
Where is he going? Oh, wait, he hasn't finished the first part of Smith Chain. I forgot.
Yeah, he bailed out and decided to do Smith Chain. Which I think Skunkner's already done, so...
Yes, didn't really yield that much. Didn't even give us anything worthwhile. Just like 1 rupee in the purple chest, and I think... what was the blacksmith reward? Because I know it was like 20 rupees in the 20 rupees from the pet cave.
Yeah, I don't remember, but I just realized. Okay, I was gonna say Skunkner does not have magic, so can't go to Ice Palace. I think this is an indication that he's going Ice and not Thieves Town, which makes sense because you figure if progress is at Thieves Town, Zethno might have got it way early, so I'm just not going to even go there. But yeah, he needs magic to go in Ice. So if you're a Zethno fan, he's either got to go to Ice like right now after the purple chest, and even then he'd be a little bit behind, or he's got to go to blind and get the hookshot there. And I hope I'm not like making people feel like I'm biased towards Zethno or anything. I'm just trying to clarify, what would equalize the race.
Yeah, each check that Zethno does is not in the Ice Palace is a slowly increases the gap between him and Skunkner.
Yeah, I wonder if him deciding to do Smith Chain first will mean that he'll turn the purple chest and go to Ice Palace because he decided not to go into Thieves Town right away. I wonder if that's what he's going to do next. But I don't think he has much more overall left. I think this is really just it.
Yeah, we're getting to like the end part of the seed. There's our hook shot. And 1 hour and 33 minutes, Skunkner is now in go mode.
And looks like Zethno is taking the walking path down there instead of fluting or mirroring and fluting to 7.
K45 is the one I think he's going to go to.
Ah, I see. Okay.
At least that's all I like to think.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, he hasn't done Dig Game Stumpy. He can't do Dig Game with the chest following him. But yeah, I don't think he's done that chain yet either. So he's got these checks.
No, I'm pretty sure he did game because I think he was here early, much earlier before Skunkner, and that's what led to the dive into Thieves Town dungeon.
Oh, right. Oh, so Bombo's tablet. That's why he's staying in the Dark World.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this gives a decent lead to Skunkner. Depends on how quickly Zethno goes into Ice Palace. If he goes in right away, this is about a minute and a half lead or so on Skunkner's side. And I guess it does matter whether or not they are going to check chests for silver arrows. You know, I doubt Zethno would go left side for silver arrows, but I guess it really just depends on how comfortable you feel with silverless cannon. And also, I mean, the gap could widen, right? There's still Swamp Palace Zethno hasn't gone in. He could go back to Thieves Town, try to do blind.
It looks like going back into that portal is prompting him to go ahead and start doing Swamp Palace, and this could not be the play. Well, no, well, this is obviously not the play here. He needs to go to Ice Palace.
Yeah, exactly. Which, of course, we know from the benefit of seeing both races. But of course, this is a reasonable play. Otherwise, it's pretty dense. Makes sense. Oh, no, never mind. Yeah, he went in realizing he didn't pull the dam. I thought he was going to change his mind and go to ice.
Nice, good diver down there from Skunkner. Gonna open up some more chests. I feel like you're looking for silvers, just like you said before. They're gonna search around to get some silvers until, like, it couldn't be that much because they got so few checks left in the overworld and such. It's like, if anything, it's probably locked in Ganon's tower at this point.
Yeah, it's most probably there, but it would suck to like walk right past it in the flooded room, you know?
Yeah, which is all the better to open the chest up as you go along the way.
Skunkner on Argus, be their 7th crystal.
Do we have the guessing game for this channel?
I don't know. I think we got some mods here in chat, so maybe they'll clue us in.
So yeah, if the mods are in, that can enable the guessing game. Oh, guessing game is disabled. Aww.
Well, we'll just do it on honor system. Which I don't know why it said honor system. It's not like there's cheating involved. But yeah, get your guesses in chat if you would like to participate in this silly little game to try to guess which location in Ganon's tower the big key will be placed. 1 through 22.
I like to think it's 14 today. At least personally, I like to think it's 14.
I don't know, I usually guess 24. But that's only when we're actually playing with a bot.
I'll be right back.
Oh, no worries.
I hear the door.
Zethno coming and doing left side. Makes a lot of sense. He's going to get that big key, probably backtrack to the big chest, and then we'll see where he goes from there. But his options are pretty limited. They are go back to blind, go up to do Turtle Rock, Pennant Turtle Rock, which if he's feeling behind, he may feel like, this is my out, I got to go do that. Or go into ice where we know the progress is. Sitting there in that first chest. Here we go. GT is opening. I don't know why I'm so excited about that, but I am.
Make sure you chatters get the right chest.
Doors closing. I respect the 1 million guess. Hopefully it's not in the 1 millionth chest, but we shall see.
I'm personally hoping for the torch.
All right, not in the first
What do you
two
think?
chests. What
do you think?
About which chest?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess I'd like to see Fire Snake Room because that's never there, and it's always nice when it's in one of those one-off locations like Double Firebar or Fire Snake. Okay, low on magic here from Skunkner's side. Might pick up this small magic pot here, and does not. So this could be a little hairy. I mean, I think he's got magic potions still.
Honestly, I haven't been
like we
paying
did our
too much
right side.
attention.
So.
Yep, right side done. And picking up the extra key here. Yep, gonna just do the what's become the new meta. I don't know if there's a name for this route, but Compass Rush or something like that. I don't know. Blue Surge. I think that's like a Mountain Dew brand, but you know, compasses are blue, and it's yeah. Never mind.
I was gonna say all signs point to the mirror to get back into the entrance to go to the left side.
Oh, there's the silvers. Oh, so Zethno went into the island. Oh, now getting in the hobo check, right? Because he missed that earlier on, but not going into the ice palace.
So it looks like silvers is definitely going to be guaranteed in this run because Big Key is not along with the silvers. So more likely than not, this is looking to be a pretty clean win for game one for Skunkner, unless Skunkner dies to Ganon like 15 times in this seed, which I kind of doubt it. As you stated before, Skunkner's execution so far is pretty good.
Yeah, I like this point in the race. Like, if you know that a race is done, like, it's nice. You can just kind of sit back and focus on execution and not worry anymore about, you know, who's gonna get ahead or behind or anything like that. So it'll be nice to just kick back and watch as Zethno turns in the mushroom. But one thing I do want to point out too about routing too with Zethno here is it's really hard to know. Like, of course, you don't know where your opponent has gone to know where you might go because of outs. Oh, sorry. What number was that? I don't know, chat. You're gonna have to let me know. I didn't. Which chest was that in random room?
I believe
It was
14 or 15.
Oh, was that the one you guessed?
Because I blinked and I forgot how many chests he opened up in the random.
So it's 6 on the right side, then 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then how many chests did he open in the random room, right? Oh, it was the fire snake room. Okay, never mind.
Oh,
13.
okay. Okay.
Oh, that's why people are like, oh, what's the lottery number's going to be? Oh, Zethno going into Thieves Town. I like this play. I understand it. I respect it. But yeah, what I was going to mention is like stuff like this. Like, it makes sense why he would go in. It's hard to guess where your opponent's going to be, but there is information that you do have. Like, for example, Hobo and the Hylia Island. If the progress is there, it's very likely your opponent got that forever ago. And so that's something where, like, it really pays off to be thinking about your outs. Like, what are my outs? What is it that my opponent has likely not done that I can do to get ahead if you think you're behind? So that's something that is interesting to think about. Like, you know, maybe not going to Hobo, maybe not going to Hylia Island, because it's very little chance that those locations are going to bail you out if Hookshot ends up being there. I guess it all just depends on how confident you are, like, about whether you're behind or ahead too, which is a hard thing to evaluate.
Yep, nothing is guaranteed in this seed, and it just goes to show, like, sometimes you just guessed right and sometimes you don't, unfortunately.
Yep, for sure.
get a pretty hectic Lemos 2 fight on Skunkner's side as they finish up the what I like to call the first part of the gauntlet, well, the second part of the gauntlet, which is basically that boss fight. Going upstairs to do the Wizro magic trick and gets it done. Now he gets to run over to the other side to show the audience on the right his encore performance. Does that in clean fashion.
I don't know. I personally like the magic trip.
Yeah, it's a bit of a trip to do because you trip them up and then you go to the other side and trip them up even more.
And I think to people who we get so used to that, but it looks so cool. Like when you haven't seen it before. Just quick kill on those Wizrobes. It's funny, like you could do like some crazy precise tech, or even like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of what's really precise. I don't know, like a really quick fake flipper, that's really hard to appreciate how much practice needs to go into like doing a very fast fake flipper. But then you do the Wizrobe room quickly, which is a lot easier tech, but it's a lot more flashy. And people are like, whoa, and you're like, well, you didn't see my north facing quick hop, come on.
Oh, unfortunately, Skunkner trying to fight off Morty 2 with a golden sword ended up getting tossed to the side. Gonna have to take a second shot at it as Zethno is making their way towards the mountain, or like going into Turtle Rock.
Yep, makes sense. This is a good out. Like between Ice Palace and Turtle Rock, I would agree here that it's less likely that Skunkner has done Turtle Rock, although he did do Turtle Rock first. But yeah, we know that this is not where it's going to be. So they're pretty much going to have done all the same checks as each other, other than the fact that Skunkner skipped Thieves Town altogether, and then had a bit of a better execution time in terms of like some of those really punishing boss fight deaths.
Again, I think that should be a double, unless that got hit too quickly. But yeah, that's a guaranteed double for sure, though, for the Aga 2 fight. As we get to the next set of swings, and down he goes. Skunkner taking out Aga 2. We're gonna have a date with the Big Pig now on Skunkner's side, and after this, it'll be a solid sub 2-hour fight, or sub 2-hour run of the seed from Skunkner.
Even sub 150 is possible.
Well, yeah, especially with silvers. Now that you mention it, like you have Cape, you have Buttered Sword, no less, and then you have silvers. This fight should be trivial. Like, if I see a death here, I'll be a very disappointed father right now.
Wow, pressure's on, Skunkner, if you're watching in chat, because this is on a stream delay. So, it depends on whether or not he's finished yet. I'm not going to spoil anything, but might be in here. Hearing his father tell him how disappointed he is.
Be very, very disappointed. So they seem to get into the third phase pretty cleanly, thanks to the aid of the Buttered Sword. So it won't be that long until we get to the conclusion of this.
And Zethno doing the same thing, forgetting they don't have hook shots, so they've got to make the slow trip back around the platform on the right side of Turtle Rock.
Hookshot does a lot to people, unfortunately.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the problem is. I could do that room with my eyes closed.
Well, you can. I don't think anyone else could.
I'm just kidding. Oh, nice double there from Skunkner.
And that should be the finishing blow on Ganon as Skunkner finishes off Ganon. Everyone, get your GGs out for Skunkner as he finished with a time the moment he crosses the bridge. With a time of 1 hour, 48 minutes, and 49 seconds, I think. Yeah. GG's. And I do believe we are joined by Skunkner themselves. How you doing? Excellent work out there.
Thanks a lot. I was really nervous in the beginning, but I think my execution got better over time.
Yeah, he was playing very solid. So from the start to the finish, like we didn't really see anything that was at fault. Maybe a slight hiccup at in one or two spots, but overall it was just pretty clean run.
Yeah, guys.
I felt really good.
Yeah, I gotta say, Skunkner, I really appreciated a lot of the game knowledge you pulled out there. I won't go over it all because we all talked about it already and we all know about it. But you'll have to watch it back so that you can hear all my praise.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it very much. Thank you. But in the beginning, it was really a struggle. For example, I did not hit the guards with the boomerang. I was really nervous, but it got better, and I was confident. But when I did not find that hookshot, I was like, "Hooey." Most of the times I do ice paddles before, but I did not have the hookshot, and it was a long trip to go to Turtle Rock again. So I just gambled on that one because I also had the ice rod.
Yeah, makes sense. And I also wanted to shout out specifically though that fast movement tech up the ladder with the spin speed in the Samaria block.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I did see that one in one of Ralen's races.
Oh, nice.
Shout outs to you, Ralen.
Nice here in chat with us.
Yeah, yes. But where did Zethno lose his time?
I think it was partially routing, went into Thieves Town, did some of the overworld a little less efficiently, partially due to getting mirror late, ran out of money before pod, but also took some very punishing deaths on bosses. So those are the big time losses altogether.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was so happy when I did find the mirror so early in the game. At first I thought if I should do Eastern Palace in the dark, but I'm happy that I did not do that because I did find the mirror early, and so I could do Pot and Eastern all together. Love
this move here from Zethno, though, deciding to go and check the big chest of Turtle Rock first before doing Mimic Cave, so that if it is the hook shot, it's a faster check. So when you're in go mode, it's really nice.
Yeah, that's what I usually do. When I did check Mimic Cave, I thought, oh, damn, you forgot about the big chest. But well, it was late in the race, and I did not know anything, so I always thought Zethno was right behind me, if not in front, if he just dipped Ice Palace, especially after I did find that hookshot.
Yeah, that could have been terrible. He could have potentially gone there much earlier.
Yeah, that hookshot was in a really easy to get location, but yeah, unfortunately I was looking for it at the wrong places.
Yeah, I feel like in this seed that was one of the other rude placement locations for a progression to be in. I forgot which one. Oh yeah, the tablet on Ether Medallion tablet, was another root spot. But thankfully we was able to get y'all was able to get your Master Swords then before dealing with that any further.
There were no swords at all in the beginning, and then all four came really quickly after each other. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, it's one of those weird situations. To be honest, I felt like this seed would have been much ruder if they went on not giving you swords further into the seed as it did before up until that point of a Paradise Cave having one of the swords there. But yeah, it just seems like the seed, well, not pretty straightforward, but still kind of a not so rough, but still not very, what's the proper word for it? Generous. Not a generous seed to run.
No. I did not have problems without the sword because I'm playing a few sortless seeds sometimes, but you want those, especially if you see the titans on the tablet.
Yeah. And Zethno's taking an unfortunate death on the laser bridge.
Doesn't have that door though.
Yeah, that door saves. I have seen a few runners skip opening that door up and taking the exit for that one, and it paid out. It made them pay dearly. Let's say for that reason of neglectance.
Yeah, I think we've all been there. I mean, optimally, right? You don't want to open the door, but especially in this situation where you're like a few hearts from, it's like, yeah, okay, I'll open the door before I do laser bridge.
But he had it's kind of.
Oh, never mind. I thought he was going to fake powder that anti-fairy.
Was going to ask. Now that I thought about it, what was your? So, with this being the first game of the 3, what will be your what's your first impression so far into this match?
Well, I did not see Zethno play yet, not at all. Therefore, I'm not sure what exactly went wrong in this seed for him. But I'm thrilled for our next game tomorrow. So I wish we'll get a more straightforward seed, to be honest, because I feel comfortable with my execution, and I don't want all of these of those safeties, to be honest. So
yeah, the seed gave you a lot of safeties at the very start with those 3 bottles. Like, I was really surprised about that. Like, I normally don't see that.
Yeah, you start to play very differently when you get these. More like the Harakiri way, but
yeah, that's true.
So maybe more streamlined tomorrow and not so many safeties. I'd wish for that one, or a seed where I could use the Qirn jump. That would be great.
And Zethno finishing up finishing up the fight for Trinex. Now this is just a matter of where they will be going to next.
Looks like maybe Spike Cave.
Yeah, they haven't checked Spike Cave yet, so that would make the most sense. So at this point, checking out Spike Cave would be the logical play here. Like normally you like, well, in my personal opinion, if you're like with Bombos, Medallion, Tablet, having the Titans mid, I feel like this check would have been done much sooner. But that's just me. I don't like to skip things over like Spike Cave like that.
Yeah, I guess there just wasn't an easy time. I mean, I guess you could save and quit or flute up to here at any time, but it's an easy one. I mean, like Catfish, like saw you do this too. Both of you did this, Skunkner, you and Zethno, went to Catfish early so that it would not become isolated.
Yeah, I did. My very first race I ever did was against Talan in the German Cup, so that was like a bummer. And in our second race, I did lose because I did not go to Catfish, but we had like just 5 minutes difference. But I last located Catfish. If I had done it, I maybe would have beaten Talane, but he did a full clear, so wouldn't mean a lot, but would be nice.
But he went early?
I don't know how he routed that one, but you know, I was really nervous. Maybe I could have routed that into my game better in that game. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Like, Catfish is so easy to isolate, and for good reason in standard and open modes. I mean, I think that most often it's a good idea, I think, to isolate it because it's such a slow check. But in some modes, or depending on how full clear you think you're going to have to do it, I do really like the play of Pyramid into Catfish.
Yeah, that's how I usually route it in.
And there's some rage bombs for that go mode hookshot in first chest of Ice Palace.
But isn't that room hookshot locked?
That first room?
How about my save and quit after escape going south into Quack? Yeah, I wanted that bomb. So badly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Zethno got bombs on the tier 2 tree pole on the way up
Okay.
to Lost Woods. Yeah. Yeah, I mean that makes a lot of sense. You don't get a bomb, or you get only that one bomb. You're gonna save and quit, do the bushes. I think that's a nice standard play there.
Yeah, as I said, I was really nervous in the beginning, especially at that point, because when I went to the escape, my life split didn't start because I did not have my numpad activated, and I was so nervous, and I thought I forgot the chest in my house, and I always thought about, wait, what if the mirror is in there or something like that. Yeah. But I did open it, so wasn't that bad. But if it's in your head all the time, you are like, whoa, what a bummer.
Yeah, I think that the meta has changed a bit. And by meta, I just mean what most people will usually do. Not like this is the best thing to do. It's just what most people usually do. And I think that influences your route because it's like, well, you want to respond to what most people do. But it's transformed, I think, within the last year or two to be a lot more risky than it has been in the past. So like always skipping catfish, for example, like that kind of stuff. Maybe skipping dig game, you know, just
swamp.
Yeah, left side swamp. Yeah, I think that with Diver Down, it's maybe not as bad as it could be for people skipping it than it otherwise would be.
Coffee break room, Tower of Hera.
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially with the new tech, the Hera pot. But yeah, I think it's becoming a lot more aggressive. Because it sucks when you are too completionist. But now that's open and standard. If you're playing like Key Sanity or Entrance, then that can be very different. Sometimes it's really good to be completionist.
Yeah. Yeah, I skipped most of my Overwatch checks until I was at the point where I was on the search for my hookshot. There was no need to do any Overwatch checks, to be honest. And
yeah, that's a hard one to just decide to skip, though. You know, to just like, oh, I'm gonna skip the overworld.
yeah, but I was able to do 6 of my crystal dungeons, so I think it was okay.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I don't disagree with you at all. Yeah, in fact, I think that too often we do stuff like, say, Smith Chain or even Village of Outcasts or even South Shore. We think about it as, oh, well, this has to happen at a certain point. And really, if you've got crystals available to you, go do that. Like, you could skip South Shore. It's possible. It's happened. You could skip Village of Outcasts. Like, why not do the crystal dungeon first? Or, for that matter, you could get like a mirror or a mitt to help improve those checks at least.
Yeah. First time I visited Village of Outcasts was when I had 6 crystals. So
Always be
I felt good about that one.
As
but
a restreamer have said it, yeah. I'm sorry, I was gonna say always be clearing dungeons, as our restreamer has said it properly.
Yep, Zethno now on their Argus. I think that was a 2 cycle. And this will be their 7th crystal, heading up to Gannis Tower after this.
So I think at this point, if they feel a little bit behind, I feel like they'll be going to do full left side first.
Well, they know, I mean, they see the finish time.
Oh, well, yeah, naturally.
So I think they're just chilling out, wrapping up this seed. Gonna not let the seed have the last laugh.
I'm all for it. Like the seed hasn't been that rude enough to warrant a forfeit. To be honest, like there's cases where yeah, I would like in if I was in this sort of situation, I would finish this seed, especially just to get the. I feel like there was a bit of rust in Zethno today, so I'm thinking he's trying to shake that out as much as he can, and I feel like he'll definitely come back in game 2 with a better performance, a much better performance to be able to get a win to do game 3. But it's really rough. I'm not sure if it's tournament nerves or it's just not feeling well. I feel like this either or, because it can like, even if you have like do the correct routes and so on forth, you can still end up like having a very bad time on a jet seed, no less, and that can be like the worst thing to happen.
Yeah, all these, it's also good to remember like that this was such a low percent seed early on, and that can be like really great, I think, to have those experiences. I mean, I don't know about you, but even when I quote unquote know something, like say hammer blind, sometimes I need like a reality check. Like, oh right, I got to put that back in my practice rotation because it's been so long since I've actually done it or whatever.
Yeah.
And this was a very challenging early on seed with those low percent no sword kind of stuff. He went into that dark room in Eastern Palace with green mail and 4 hearts, I think, and that was his first death in the back of a dungeon.
Going into the right side first to pick up the key, as well as another key. So yeah, following suit. Everyone does this trend now. With the moment they get a key, they just check the right side immediately, which makes a lot of sense, to be honest. As long as you don't check the tower room first.
Or, there is a strat where you do check the tower room. It's not the tower room gamble. That's a different strategy. But can I tell you the story of this other route? It's a storied story.
Oh no. What is this kind of is it a horror story?
No, yes. On a dark and stormy night, there was a very strange Ganon's Tower route. It's not a tower room gamble, importantly, it's not that. But what you do is if you go into Hope Room and you don't get a key, meaning that you can't do this strat that's happening right now, then that's when you go into Tower Room, but only if you don't get a small key. Because the idea is you either get a big key in Tower Room, which, whatever, cool, GG, you win the Ganon's Room guessing key game. Or if you don't get that, you could get a small key and get access to the compass room before anybody else. And if you do the math on it, it beats. It has a property like, one way you can think about these different these different Ganon's Tower routes is how they compare to other routes. So when the key is in different locations, how well did they do? And what you can do is you can just average that out, right? Because it's a 1 in 22 chance the key is going to be anywhere. Yeah. So you can say which routes beat which routes on average, and that's definitive. So you can compare the routes together, and the property that we call this strat the living on a prayer strat. The property that this strat has is that it's very punishing if you don't get it. Oh, I think he missed the small key grab there. Hopefully he doesn't need that. So it's very punishing if it's not in the compass room or in the tower room. However, if it is there, then you gain a lot of time over practically every other route. So it's a great gamble to do in a situation where you feel like you need some extra help here when you're in Ganon's Tower and want to do something crazy.
Oh, okay.
But it's a lot less risky than a tower room gamble. It's a lot less risky. Tower room gamble loses to every other route on average, but this route will beat quite a few of them on average.
All right.
And thank you for coming to my third tech talk of the cast. This is Go Mode podcast racing channel though, so I think it's appropriate if I kind of, have our own little podcast here.
Things. Yeah, it's absolutely fine. I think our viewers today wouldn't mind like a bit of learning the knowledge of handling the situations that our runners are going through and whatnot, and the risk that they have to take.
Whoa, what was that with the pots? He threw a pot. Oh my god, that was insane. So he threw a pot to the left. It clipped through. It clipped through the rail to the left guy, and then he picked up the next pot and clipped it through to the right guy. That was pretty crazy.
That was a lot of shenanigans that I saw, and I was a bit worried for a moment. But I think he was just doing that for show, which I'm all for. That's some cool points there.
Now approaching location number 13. Will it be here? Will lightning strike twice and we'll get the big key in the same location on each runner's side? Can you imagine?
If lightning didn't strike twice in this situation, I would say, what was wrong with this? What is wrong with this? Like, that'll have to be some serious Game Shark shenanigans going on here.
Yeah.
Like this, like we're a month late into April Fools. I'm pretty sure it's not pretty sure.
Silver Arrow's helping out in the mimic room there.
There's a lot of different ways I see people take on that room, and I think I do like the safest way to do it, so to say. But it still takes a lot of time.
Yeah, it's crazy the difference between the actual most optimal way, if you don't have silver arrows, and the other ways. Like, you don't save a lot of time doing the optimal way, and the tech is much more difficult.
Yeah, it involves like a series of sword slashes and forcing them to move along the way during the slash frames, right?
Yeah, and it's really particular. Like, the inputs are really particular to get it to work. It's one of those things where it's like, you know, people see the quick kill in the Wizrobe rooms and they're like, oh my god, how cool is that? And you're like, but you didn't praise my Mimic 1 and Mimic 2 rooms? Come on, man. That's so much harder. It just doesn't look as cool.
I mean, it still looks cool to me.
Yeah, well, you know, you've got a trained eye. It's like, you know, if talking about like showing my dad trick, you know. Like, I show my dad Master Sword Samaria Ganon fight, and he's like, yeah, cool, whatever. And then I show him fake flippers, and he loses his mind.
I guess you could just chalk it up for it to be like a noticeable glitch. Like,
yeah. It's very flashy. Well, I think actually the one my dad lost his mind at was the bottle glitch in Pod, because he had to actually call the Nintendo hotline when he was playing the game for the first time. He's like, how do you do this? He didn't realize you could kill the mimics with a bow.
Zethno was going through the first part of the gauntlet, had a little bit of trouble on the previous room, but looking to finish it up. Thankfully getting the time to do that. It didn't take much damage, so that's a good sign. And looks like they're going to do this with the golden sword. Good spin, good set amount of spins should take care of them if they don't do quick hops or like be very, very truly in their like movement shenanigans, I guess. But looks like a good work with the fire rod, puts them to toast. Onward to the other half. Show your dad VRAM corruption. Going through the rest of the gauntlet in pretty good fashion so far. Just gotta take the moment to get through the not the third part, but lighting these torches up and getting on to the last part of the gauntlet. So while Zethno is going through the last part of the gauntlet to Ganon's Tower.
Oh my god, I almost died there. Did you see that?
What just happened?
Zentho quick swapped to mirror and then in the bomb room, and I was like, oh no, don't. Sorry, I interrupted you though.
But while Zethno is going through the last part of the gauntlet, do give our runners a follow. We're doing a fantastic work on handling the sea. Do give our Restreamer as well as our trackers follow. Scoopla and Cinaeth, as well as our TED Talk commentator today, Qirn, doing a fantastic job of talking about the ins and outs of how to do a speed run of a randomizer.
Yeah, and of course, Hub as well. Your Twitch on Twitch as EsperHubb.
I can only commentate so much, but I definitely try my best. Okay, this should be a good spot to do some spins. Oh wait, only hits once. This is part of the reason why I favored slashing more than spinning, as far as like dealing with the Aga 2 goes.
Yeah, I think that in a perfect world, sometimes you want to spin and sometimes you want to slash. And it depends on both positioning and timing.
Yeah, the mix of the two would probably be more fitting to do.
And it's hard because sometimes it also depends on whether or not he's on a blue ball pattern. Because if he's on a pattern that could have a blue ball, then sometimes that also changes whether or not you want to spin or slash. In a perfect world. So it's good to know both.
And now it's Zenthos' time to clean up his seed and finish up Ganon, as we get some good clean hits from here with the big old buttered sword. Gonna butter up the bacon, as some would say. Excellent use of the hook shot, by the way.
Yep, not getting those iframes, dodge some of that damage. And of course, importantly, staying close into Ganon. Okay, like Skunkner is going to go straight for the silver arrow shots. Not going to worry about the torch glitch. Makes a lot of sense. They've got plenty of magic. There's no reason to go for a torch glitch when you're doing a silver arrow finish.
Yeah, I agree.
Sometimes you can get like an extra double or even a triple if you go immediately for the first hit you can, rather than going for the torch glitch. Like that pattern, if you happen to be on the right side of him, you could have got a maybe as much as a triple. Oh,
okay, this looks like a triple right here if he lines it up right. 1, 2.
Oh, the timing is slightly off, but almost got a Ganon hug there with how he warped right on top of him.
Thankfully, with Red Mail, it doesn't take as much damage, I like to think, right?
Yeah, it doesn't do as much damage, but still could have knocked him in the pit or something.
Oh, right, yeah, it could have knocked him into the pit. That would have been an ouch. But down goes Ganon for a Zethno. Everyone get your GGs out for Zethno as once he crosses the bridge, at least, like, you know, he could still fall into it, and that could be tragedy on stream, but hopefully that won't happen. And he finished with a time of 2 hours, 18 minutes, and 14 seconds. GGs, as we are joined by Zethno in the stream. Good work out there.
I appreciate the comment, but I wouldn't agree with good.
Yeah, you had a rough start there. I mean, low percent, no lamp kind of situations you were in.
Yeah, but I've been in them a lot before, and I've played better than that. That was just I don't know, I had some tech issues right at the starting, so I think I was just a little rattled when I started, and then my execution just went downhill from there, and then every mistake I made, my execution just got worse.
Yeah, I was commenting on that a little bit, theorizing that maybe that was what was going on, because we also saw you like miss the start of your timer, and then it looked like you typed it in manually, and all these distractions at the start of the race.
Yep, that was, for whatever reason, the timer didn't start, and then so I was trying to fix that. So, and yeah, my opponent here knows because we were talking about it. When I opened everything today, all my settings had reset to default, so I was trying to set them up like 5 minutes before the race, and just it's. I think it was a perfect storm. Yeah,
At
it's
first,
just
I want to say GG to you. But funny because the same thing happened to me with my timer.
yeah. But yeah, it was just, and then the entire execution up front, I honestly thought I was going to die at the end of Escape. So you probably noticed I just pulled out the cape and walked through the end because I said, forget this. I'm not redoing this.
Yeah, that would have been brutal.
Yeah.
And I figured that out after I figured out that I believe there was a bomb drop in that rat pack.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was at like one heart, half a heart when I figured it out, and I was like, oh great, some skunkner will probably get the bomb, and here I am walking out using cape. This is a good start to the game.
Yeah, it ended up. It's only really very punishing if the back of Escape locks the glove, but otherwise, it's not too bad.
Yeah, I felt better when I found the glove.
Yeah.
That one happened to me in my last race. That's the reason I lost my third match against Pitlovan, because he did get the bombs, I did not, and he had the glove way earlier.
But yeah, thankfully enough, this is only just game 1 of the game 3. So you do have some time to like at the very least get yourself back up to give it another shot at the very least to see if you can get a better time to get a win out there.
Yeah, I feel like it can't go worse than what this one did, to be honest. And so I'm looking forward to trying to have a better showing in the next one. But yeah, it's probably good I didn't have my mic on throughout all of that, because just the entire time it was like, well, that was wrong. Well, that was wrong. Just all the way through.
Well, I hope you do watch it back though, Zethno, because from audience perspective, it was not clear to us, for sure that like Skunkner was ahead or was going to win or anything like that, because of where that hook shot was until pretty much the last 15 minutes of the game. It wasn't clear, the lead could have changed. So it was an exciting race to watch from our end anyway. So I hope you do end up watching it back.
Yeah, I probably will. But it was just, that's all I can really. Yeah, I don't really know what to say.
Well, good thing it's a best of 3.
Yeah. But GG to my opponent, Skunkner.
Yeah, GG to you.
I don't know, like, even throughout that, I kept thinking I wanted to go to ice, and I was like, you know what, I feel so bad about my execution, let me go into swamp first, just in case, and I'll go straight to ice. And they started walking towards ice. I'm like, nah, you know what, there isn't that much in there's so much more in Turtle Rock, I'm behind, maybe I'll go to Turtle Rock first. Yeah, that was wrong. I definitely should not have done that.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to go the correct direction when there's literally one item left in the game.
Yeah, especially when there's we have no indication of where that item can be at all anyways to begin with. So any guess was definitely like a toss up.
Yeah, but I did really want to go to ice earlier. I wanted to go to ice before swamp, and then I made the gamble because I felt like I was behind, and then I made another gamble because I felt like I was behind. So I kind of feel like I just played with the way I wanted to play, I probably would have done a lot better in the end.
Well, we appreciate you both being willing to be restreamed in good games, and good luck on your next match.
Yeah, thanks a lot. And thanks for restreaming our game and tracking it, of course. Much love to our trackers in our community.
Yeah, shout out to Supula.
Yeah, the unsung heroes of our restreaming.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly come in to say these two are going to be racing again tomorrow. What time is your match 2?
2 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
I don't know.
and I think it's 8 p.m. CEST for
Yep.
every European in there.
Yep. So we're going to be restreaming the second race, and if you guys crank out a game 3, we'll be restreaming that as well. So if you all want to get into commentating, tracking, whatever, we're always looking for volunteers. So be sure to come join the Go Mode podcast or the Challenge Cup. They're always looking for more people.
And with that, I do believe that wraps it up. Do give our runners a follow on their respective channels for a fantastic show of speed running goodness, as well as our tracker, as well as our restreamer, and the commentators.
And that'll do it for us. Hub, it's been a pleasure.
Like always, thank you very much for having me.
And good night, everybody.